In this video, we are going to be looking at the security topic of linkability. Linkability is tying data points to other data points through relationships of those data points. So when we're talking about security, we're talking about the context of generally behavior in social engineering. So next week, there is a video about a major attack that is becoming more and more popular. It's been going on for 5 to 6 years, and fundamentally behind what's going on is linkability. That's what's actually occurring here. And so if we think about data points being, let's say, one aspect of, let's create a person named Bob. And we'll say that Bob has an email address. And so Bob signs up with his email address to Facebook, okay? And then Facebook says, hey, we need a second factor of authentication. Give us your cell phone number. So Bob then gives his cell phone number to Facebook. So with Facebook, his Facebook is now tied to his email and his cell phone. He's created 2 links to Facebook. And this is all in the name of security. The other thing as well is depending on his, let's say, behavioral pattern with, let's say, Facebook, he's also tying his behavior to Facebook. So it's like when he logs on, how often he uses it, if he posts to Facebook, certain things related to that. And so essentially, you could think of Facebook being a data point, an email address being a data point. You could think of his cell phone being a data point. You could see his behavior being a data point. And these data points are all being tied to other data points, right? So from a security perspective, what a person is doing there in Bob's case is he's linking all of this information together, which allows for attacks on social engineering. Linkability makes it very easy to spoof or monitor. And of course, there's other things that people can do here involving behavior, such as auditing, tracking, and monitoring become easy. Keep in mind, that can be both good or bad, right? Like an attacker can audit you, track you, and monitor you, or a good guy can, monitor, audit, or track you. So as a case in point here, and just think about this from the perspective of the internet. Where might we get some or all of these data points? Let's say data points on Bob the individual, right? Like, his name, his birth date, his address. By the way, I'm still surprised that Facebook actually, they ask for people's birth date. That just cracks me up. Like, you should never ask that information. You can do a background check on somebody just with their name and birth date. It's crazy. And yet Facebook is asking for that information. And any social network should not be asking for that information. That should be illegal, but anyway, I'm stunned. Anyway, Bob's house, where might we get some of that information? Bob's resume, Bob's children, Bob's schedule, Bob's friends, Bob's network, right? It's amazing. Like, a lot of those data points are pretty easy to get, right? It's pretty interesting. So if we go back to here from a social engineering perspective, linkability is what Bob has done, right? By putting all this information out there, Bob has made it very easy for linkability to occur. So from 1 or 2 data points, we can often discover other data points through these links, right? It only takes a few of them, right? Like I just said, you can do a background check on somebody with just their name and birth date. Think about that. And people are putting their name and birth date out there with ease. They don't even think about that. And with the background check, you can get even more information. There's significant social engineering and spoofing risks. And I will say that next week we're going to be talking about one of the major security attacks that the Department of Homeland Security has been warning about. And it is definitely increasing, and it will continue to increase. And fundamentally behind it is linkability, which is why I wanted to shoot this video first this week. Next week we'll be talking about it in our security topic discussion.